look, and he turns around and walks out. So it was he was like, abort. So it's I think everybody's to that point. And I don't know how it is from your perspectives up there, but I know Brad and Alex, you've watched some, but you see guys like me and people south of me that are in their bees and looking at frames and doing the thing, right? And how does it kind of get you anxious to get into it and get going? Or is it just
not at all?
Not at all. You're just like, yeah, screw those guys.
Yeah, oh, not at all. This starts about the second week in January, and it just goes on from there every year. It's like, you guys suck. I want to get my bees. I have to wait until May almost.
It's it's really
a lot of fear of missing out is what it is.
FOMOing over there, and but you only have a couple more weeks, and you could possibly move them outside.
Probably in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Mine are already outside.
Is that a Virgin, Kraken, and Pepsi? Or is that a full-on?
That is a Virgin, Kraken, and Pepsi.
Okay.
That's a Virgin, Kraken, and Pepsi.
Pepsi only.
No, that could be changed.
Did you see this guy over here? He's coming to the dark side. He watched our One Tree Honey Company explanation.
I heard.
He's ready. He's ready to make an additional label for the lid.
That's
so
awesome.
I got label paper. I could make those in black and white and just stick them on top of the jars.
Or you could use a colored printer and make a very magical label.
I have color, except red is plugged. So I got three quarters of a color printer, and I tried like running the cleaning cycle, and it just drained the whole red cartridge. So
bees can't see red anyway. So
yeah, the bees can't see red anyway. It don't matter.
Yeah, true, but humans can.
So Alex was looking at using bee escapes this year.
Yeah,
I see that triangle bee escape he has there. That's namesake, Alex. That's actually known as a Quebec bee escape.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to call it out.
I used quite a few of those.
How good are they? Like draining the bees out of the supers?
They work fine. Yeah, they work well. The thing that helps them work better is to have a bit of a flow on when you're using it. If there's a dearth, they don't clear as well. But if you have a little bit of a flow, they work well.
A certain number of days per box, is that kind of the guideline? I mean, I think I gave them 2 days a box is what I kind of rationed them out.
Yeah, usually only 2 or 3 days tops. I think more than 1 day is in order, but not more than about 3 to 4 tops. If you get busy, they could probably stand to be there for 4 days, but they don't need to be.
Because I really got to remove as many bees as I can from my honey supers.
Yeah, and it's nice that you don't have to leave them a long time, because it's one thing I always plan to do is build more bee escapes for myself, because I don't have enough. And it becomes a logistical juggling act to get the bee escapes on these colonies, and then go and pull the honey and get the bee escapes on more colonies, and then go and pull the honey and move them again, because I don't have enough.
And one of the reasons I only purchased this one is I can copy it and build my own.
Well,
Alex, that's exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. I own one that I bought.
Mine, I only have like 2 bee escapes. And so when I do mine, because I don't do like you guys do, especially you, Brad, where you are bulk pulling all of your honey at one time, right?
Yeah.
I pull mine in segments because I need to be able to pull and extract my honey out. If I pull it on a Saturday, I try to have it all by Saturday night. It's all been extracted, everything I've pulled, because I don't want hive beetles sitting around in honey frames, preparing to wreck my whole crop that I've worked all year to try to get, right? So
exactly. Yeah, I have that luxury in 2 ways. No canola flow, so my honey can sit in the honey house for a while, and it can actually sit on the colony all summer. Main honey flows July, but I might not pull it until late August or even the first week of September sometimes.
Have you seen these Ceracell escapes before?
No, I haven't. I don't know how they look like.
All right, I'll go grab one if you give me a second.
You said it's kind of like the one that I have, and it's not true that I haven't bought others. I've bought some of I call them Lewis escapes because Lewis and Sons builds them. So I have a number of those too, and they work fine as well. I build the Quebec escape because it's just easier for me to build in my wood shop.
That's what I thought.
Side by side, I really see no difference in performance. Yeah, can you cut those angled pieces and stuff? Okay,
I have yes, I do. I can. I got myself a really nice table saw, a DeWalt table saw on wheel, like with the whole like folding wheel thing. Like it's an expensive.
Those are not a bad table saw for a portable. They're pretty decent. The problem with those angles is they're acute, and it's difficult to cut angles that are more than 45 degrees. So when you go to do it, you might realize that it's a little more difficult than what you signed up for. What you can do, how you can do that is build yourself a sled. Have you seen table saw sleds that people build for different
I know what
reasons?
you're talking about.
So you build a sled, and then you can put that little piece in the sled at an angle that's more than 45, and cut them that way. I cut mine on my sled. I just screw a piece of wood to it, and then they go right through. Hey, Doug. Yeah, that's just like a Lewis. It's just plastic Lewis escape is what it is.
And luckily, I was my friends at Ceracell sent me 3 of these that I didn't have to purchase, and they worked pretty well. I'm first time using them. Some of the dimensions on some of their equipment is not quite exactly the same as the U.S. equipment, but this
not quite. How far off? Not quite.
Well, like they sent me some bottom boards last year to try out their pest prevention ones or whatever, and they didn't match up with the corners of a 10 frame box where they, for some reason, they decided they were going to cut this corner off right here, like at an angle on the end, and the box didn't really set necessarily perfect on it. They sent me some new ones this year that are supposed to be perfectly cut for 3/4 inch equipment, 10 frame box, and I haven't unboxed them yet because I haven't needed them. And if you ask my wife, the last thing I need is more bee equipment just sitting around in the house, plugging stuff up. But I was really happy with these. So it for my first time using them, the bees got out; they didn't get back in. So good thing. And I mean, it's
by the way, Bob.
Yes.
My Pepsi lost its virginity.
Oh, did it? Let me take this out of here.
I figured I better get on here and help Walker reject you Canucks. You're trying to take over. It looks to me like he needs help with that.
Well, I can see why you might be nervous about that. I mean, it's a pattern.
So, I forgot what I was about to say. I'm tired.
Getting old's a bugger.
Yeah. But
old people crack me up.
Yeah, like I said earlier, 23 out of 30 survived. 2 are probably not going to make it. 2 more, but the rest seem okay. There was a good amount of life when I opened them. Give him a bag of
Good.
sugar.
Good.
It looked suspicious as all hell. Like tiny baggies filled with white powder.
Yeah.
So
No, we
this,
pulled over on the way over.
I went ahead and did it to get my wife mad at me. But you see how this front corner is at an angle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that on every angle, including these back ones on the other one, and the box didn't sit appropriately. This one is squared off now, and it looks like it's much better. It has in the bottom, it's kind of like a wasp trap. So what happens is if I can get it out, it's got the same bee escape deals, right? But you turn them in. So if a wasp comes in the bottom, it gets stuck and can't get back out. And it also has a vent screen that you can shut the vents in the floor or leave them open. And then there's another piece that slides in here as an entrance reducer to keep critters out. So I'm gonna give these a go when I get my the bees that I've got coming. I'll probably use some of these to give them a shot and see how they work. The other ones, because of the cut, they just didn't fit well. They may fit really well on an 8-framer, but I like free stuff to try out. So when they send me stuff free, I'll give it a go and give it a shot and see what happens. And my retarded cat's attacking the mean paper again. So let me see.
Brad's got an old cat. Bob's got a retarded cat.
Yeah, well, it's older too. Not quite as old as Brad's, but it's as we put it on a diet and has lost weight, it seems to get more cat-like. Not just laying around all the time, but it likes to attack things.
So David's asking if I build the triangle one like Alex has, is what I build in the shop. It's a little simpler to build than the conical one.
Take this back out.
Yeah, that's
like
the reason.
I'm saying though, I need to build some more for myself. I don't have enough, but it's the cobbler's kid, doesn't have any shoes, so I'm always building so many orders for people that by the time I'm done that, bee season is on me and I'm not motivated to stay in the shop. So year after year, I don't have enough escapes.
We use escapes, the Quebec style.
Oh yeah.
And we use a blower at times too. Blower is a lot faster.
I tried using. I bought a DeWalt blower, but the nozzle is really big, so I'm probably gonna have to use a heat gun and narrow it down, so it focuses the air jet more. Because when I tried using it, the bees would just cling to the frame more than not.
We have a big Husqvarna backpack blower, and it gets rid of them in a hurry.
Alex, those bees that want to cling on, if you take a feather and tickle them underneath their front arm, they'll let go so they fly off.
Just tickle them under the front arm.
Yeah.
They giggle and there
One
they
bee
go.
at a time. I'll be there until 5 years in the future.
Yeah, Russ is asking about the melter, Doug. How's the new melter?
It'll be all right. Do you see the one difference?
It will be.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet.
Oh yeah, I saw you just about dumped it on the ground a couple times.
Does it work on snow?
Do you see the change in the sight glass, Brad?
Yeah. Well, that's a welcome change because
Yeah,
what they were doing was terrible.
yeah.
David says we need a video on building those.
Oh my goodness. If I do, there definitely will be a video for sure.
7 days of building bee escapes by Brad.
Well, I'm really
I
glad
was
this year. Sorry.
I was going to offer Alex, because of why I was asking if you can cut those little angle parts. I was going to offer, if you find that too difficult, I could cut up a bunch of them and box them up, mail them to you.
Well, that could be nice.
Well,
Because once I get the sled set up and get going, I can make those pretty easy.
Yeah, and the good thing about staying at 30 hives is I don't have to build any more covers, and I don't have to build any more bottom boards this year.
Yeah.
all right.
It's nice. I haven't really built a whole lot for myself lately, but I'm expanding my 6-frame nukes, so I'm just building those. What's that?
No, I was about to say with JB here. Yeah, old the Bugman brought me to the dark side with the IPM bottom boards with the oil trap in them. They are pretty amazing. The Beetle Vac, nothing wrong with it if you've got plenty of time to vacuum. I like the bottom boards. They are more expensive than the Beetle Vac, but boy, I don't have to go out there and check them because they just fall through. So Chris took me to the dark side on that. And then, be honest with you, hate to say it, but I'm still going to default back to the Appy tablet. Seems to deter them a lot. We'll see in the summer how it works after the flow, but boy, did it seem to make a difference over the winter.
I might actually buy some and drop them in the hives, since it might help before I do the treatments. But I'm going to treat. Well, I'm probably going to treat in 3 weeks if the temperature drops enough. So I don't know if it's worth buying for now. Maybe next winter though. Give them an Appy tablet like in February.
Yeah,
I use Apivar this spring, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Apivar followed by oxalic acid. That's what I usually do, and it's been performing pretty well for me.
That's what I typically do until. See, the thing is with the Apivar, I think I may have got some of that bad batch that everybody was talking about, because the batch that I bought 2 packs of them, 100, I guess I was 100 strips when I bought them from Hive Life. And it was the first time that I used them. And that was conveniently enough the year that people were saying that they weren't working like they used to. So I don't know if it was a strip issue or what, but I've only used that old batch, the squared off pack and all that. I've never had the newer ones. So I don't know if it was just my luck, but they didn't seem to do very well. And then I also did the OA treatment afterwards, and that does a 3-day blast on them. But if it's in the middle of the spring flow and they're out there intermingling and foraging, they're probably bringing mites back with them as well, right? So, don't know. But
well, as far as Apivar goes, I lucked out. None of them ones I used were bad. I always got a good result, like 0s and 1s. Maybe it's the combination of both Apivar and oxalic acid. Because as soon as I remove the strip,
combo.
Huh?
That is a very lethal combo, for sure.
Like the same day I remove the strips, as soon as all the strips are removed and the hives are closed, I blast them all with oxalic acid twice, like 4 days apart.
That's what Russell says. Apivar works until it doesn't, and then you don't know till it's too late.
I did check.
Corey's asked if we've been on here all afternoon. We did take a break, Corey.
Yeah, this is the third time for me. So
I missed, first one I missed, I was at the apiary. The second one I was eating. I felt left out.
My wife's like, "Did you hear that?" There was like automatic gunfire going on right outside, and it's like, okay, let me mute there. Yeah, just bang, 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 bang. Did you hear that? Christ, what's going on? You know.
My youngest brother's wife is from Gary, I think, like next to Detroit.
Oh, Gary, Indiana, maybe?
Yeah. She tells me horror story from her home. Like gang violence, bullets flying left and right. She says she never wants to live in the U.S. again.
You know, Chicago has a reason why it's called Chirac, you know, because of the gunfire.
If you're making those Quebec bee escapes, what I did, I made a jig on the back of my saw, 2 45-degree angle boards, and then I only have to swing the arm 15 degrees. That gives me a 60-degree cutoff. Most saws won't give you a 60-degree.
Right.
Yeah, mine
right.
can't.
Yeah, I was telling Alex that no. Well, how are you cutting that though? You mean your miter gauge?
Yeah.
There's also the slider you can put like up to like almost 90 degree, but it's not as stable or as precise as the like just moving the blade.
Yeah. Well, either way, yeah, often a jig is what's in order, but it's a little trickier to make a acute angle like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's like nine sections. If you make them for me, just tell me how much it costs, and I'll pay the like the material cost and mail.
Give me postage.
Okay.
I say you give me postage if it comes to that, but I don't know if I'll be making any because I don't know how much time it's going to take to finish my order.
If I
don't work harder than I did today, then it's going to take a long time.
Well, you have my email, so you can just contact me.
You betcha.
Nice. Larry used almost 50 queen cells today, so he still has 13 in his incubator.
Nice.
That's what you want. That's exciting. That's exciting. I love to see people raising their queens.
It's fun. It's actually fun. Speaking of queens, I got to build that incubator. I have all the materials. They've been lying on my sofa for a month. But I've been building, like I ordered 24 boxes. I've finished building those on Friday. Today I went to the apiary. Now I got to build that incubator.
I could just turn down my honey warming box a little bit, and it'd be perfect temperature in there for a queen incubator.
It's been too damn cold here to do anything. I'm getting grouchy.
Yeah.
You ready for winter to be done, Doug?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think, 18 below tonight we're supposed to hit again?
Right now over here it's -7. So, but all winter has been pretty mild here in Quebec.
It's been like -22 every night here for the last few. It's been crazy.
It's supposed to get.
Well, I'm 41 here, and I think that's cold.
I got 61 degrees right now, but it says it feels like 52 with a low of 44 overnight. And then tomorrow, it's supposed to drop into 30s again, 38 degrees. So it's definitely that roller coaster we get every year. I just want consistent over 40. If it gets consistently over 40, it would be great. It just seems to do that for several days. Then, we'll go down to 33, and then we'll come back. Oh, Did you hear the sirens?
Yeah.
They're coming for you, Bob.
I bet you it's in regards to that gunfire that we just heard a little while ago. So, only in South Carolina.
If we get to 41 here, JW, I start taking the sweaters off the bees.
That's
Brad,
well,
you
not
got
be that long, right, Doug? I mean, what, a couple more weeks, maybe?
3 weeks. I think when I fed my bees liquid syrup was on the first weekend of April. I'd have to check, but I think it was around that.
I mean, that's only what, 8 days away, right? 8 or 9 days away at this point to the 1st of April.
No, the first weekend, like it would be April 6th. That's in 2 weeks.
Probably a normal here. We start getting feed on about the last week of March, but we can get freezing up till a long weekend in May. But if your bees are good and strong, it doesn't bother them really.
They just keep it nice and toasty in the box, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know it won't be long and we'll be seeing a vlog about I moved out my bees. And we'll see Brad out there in his short pants driving the tractor.
Probably not short pants. That can be a cold day. Oh, that can be a cold. Well, moving in is a cold day because it's usually a bit colder than moving out. But yeah, it can get chilly. I was just looking at the long range forecast. Is looking at, like, I would choose the 2nd of April at this point.
So you got
I gotta work on
a
weekends.
week and a half at this point.
It would be nice to get an accurate forecast.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they can't tell you what the weather was yesterday half the time.
Yeah.
and the like the new cell phone frequencies interfere with the meteorological radars. So
Yeah, where'd you hear that?
I don't remember, on YouTube probably.
On the interwebs.
Yeah, on the interwebs.
Must
Like-
got to be true then.
Not necessarily. I've heard, like I said, I've heard about it. I don't know if it's true. Like, we can ask Google if you want.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a post right now from the North American Honeybee Expo that I guess one of the vendors that was there, they're having a problem with them actually delivering what they sold at the show. So apparently Anthony's Beehives they're having some issues with that, and they let that post go through to be posted. So if you have something like that with them, I guess go to that group on Facebook and see if that's something you can find out about. Oh, that looks like the guy that makes that honey straw machine, where you pour the honey down the middle and it centrifuges it down the straws. They may do some other things, but that was on their site. So
Yeah, I did a quick research. It says some of the 5G frequencies could interfere with weather instrumentation, like weather forecast instrumentation. So it could be true. More than that.
Can't hurt it.
let me see, plenty of drones.
Yeah, they couldn't do much worse.
No.
I grafted 90 cells yesterday, so I will be busy on Good Monday if half of them get accepted. Yeah, you're going to be making some splits, Mr. Larry. So, JW, how's your the splits and stuff you did? Have you looked at them? How are they doing?
No, I just done yesterday. I didn't. I won't go in for a week.
You got to give them a week.
Yeah.
And you said you did 10 of them for somebody else, right? They're not in your bee yard. Or...
Oh, that was package installation for my mentee. I had we went through this last night, and not to be repetitive, I buy 4 or 5 packages from someone about every year just for outcrosses. I go back to the old outcrossing stuff and I buy them from my drone yards. I like new genetics in my what I call my drone yard areas. So that's just my own little local.
I do the same thing.
Thing,
Every year it seems like I introduce a few nukes, just to keep it lively around here. You never know, right? Might get that spicy one, and might not.
Well, I've been buying for the same 3 different outfits in the South, pretty much. So most of the stuff I get from them is very gentle, and I like the genetics from them. But I don't know, I may be wrong, and I know they're out there by the hundreds of thousands bees are, but I like this. This goes back to my old purebred cattle raising deals. I don't want to make sure that I'm not what I call line breeding anything. That's just consider the source. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, as Mr. Berry down there in Louisiana says, that's just how I do, not what to do, how I do.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we all have that, things that we do our own ways, and some people agree, some people don't agree. Doesn't really make a difference. That's how we're going to do it, right? That's how I'm going to do it. And, and it doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it how we do it.
Yeah, what works for you just works. And somebody telling you you're wrong because you're doing a way that works for you, that can just take a hike.
Yeah.
Right. What's going through?
I'm sore today. I can hardly get around.
You overdo it yesterday?
I think I must have. I did 11 splits and installed 16 packages yesterday. So the old man's a little bit stiff and sore today from all the up and down and lifting and stuff. So.
Well, I did nothing and I'm still sore. So there you go. This is about as much as I've done today. Click the go live button or join chat button all day long. Drink a couple cups of coffee with Brad and go off the rails with the caffeine. So that's because I had Manitoba's most delicious honey inside the cup.
Right.
That's what did it.
Not used to that honey.
And man, that jar is like scraping the bottom of that thing now.
Down fast.
Oh yeah, it went away quick. It's feeling better, the ear infection. I've been on these a Z-Pack, and I've got 2 days left of that, and on prednisone as a steroid. So feeling better with it, but still have the congestion and stuff happening. So I honestly don't feel 100%, but I'm feeling better than I have. So that's good.
You just need more bee venom, Bob.
That's one trip to the bee yard. I've got to do that video. If I just need a sunny day. If tomorrow is the sunny day, I will do a video with these assassin bees that I've got. I mean, if I'm not right up at the hive, I could be down the driveway. 1 or 2 of them will find me regardless. And it was it's pretty impressive sight, because I watched that what's the Killer Bee Guy or something like that they go in Arizona and they find these feral colonies of Africanized bees, and then they just euthanize them. And man, their bees look tamer than the bees that they look from the inside of my veil when I'm working this colony. It's really quite impressive. I wish I had a way to put a GoPro inside my mask so you could see from inside the mask what it looks like, and one from the outside so you could see what it looks like from the outside. It's really quite impressive. If you're into that apitherapy, if you will.
I've been thinking of getting some bees from Paul Kelly. I know that the University of Guelph does sell some, and they're really gentle. I don't know if you've seen some of his video. He doesn't even wear veil most of the time. I don't know if you can import them to the US, although I think it's possible because James did import from the US. Well, the other way around must be possible too.
Maybe you can. But see, here's the problem: is by the time most northern beekeepers can produce that stuff, I'm so far along in my season that it doesn't make sense, right? It would.
Yeah, but they'll be there for next year.
If they overwinter, that's the key, right? If I can get them built up in a nuke and enough stores in there for them to be able to overwinter, then they would be.
If you could breed from those bees, they're like I said, they're ridiculously gentle.
Hanley says my aggressive hive will attack my GoPro every time I use it near them. This colony is quite the story. But I hate to say it. It is my best colony for everything else except for they're so mean. Everything else, I mean, they've got everything, right? They've got the comb, they've got drones, they've got brood out the behind, they've got stores. They're doing great. But if you get close to them, it's game on. I mean, they're not afraid of anything that I've seen yet. So I will see if tomorrow, I don't know what's tomorrow look like weather-wise. I know it's supposed to be chilly at night, but daytime, it's only supposed to get to a high of 63, which is not terrible, but and it's supposed to be sunny. So maybe tomorrow would be a day to go out there and get brutalized just for you guys. And last time I went out there, I literally had work boots on, full suit. They were stinging the leather boots, and there were stingers in the boots. They couldn't get to my legs, but they were in the boots. And they did sting through my jacket and my long gloves into my arm. So there. No, I haven't done that on this colony. I did it before though, and it works fairly well. But for that, but it's it would definitely be. I could imagine the comments about, all you need is some soap and a bucket of water, and that'll take care of that. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's my goal to keep their resources as long as I can, waiting on queens from Jose, so I can split their resources down and queen them with a mated queen and make my splits with that. So, and
have the old queen get the hive tool test.
Yes, absolutely. Or, you know what I've noticed is when you take that mean queen and you move her back to like a 5-frame nuke, all of a sudden the bees aren't as nasty in there. They're kind of demoralized at that point.
Yeah, but they'll return to the previous attitude. So
they could, yeah. But that would be one of those colonies that I would just zombie, like Brad says, and I would just rob every frame of brood she laid and drop it into another colony to help boost their numbers.
Yeah, spreading the mean bees all across the bee.
Yeah, only for 45 days though, right? And then they're gone. So just, but if it keeps the nice queen laying her brood up, then it's worth it.
Oh, you bust them up and they demoralize pretty fast, and they start to get tuned in a bit.
I notice if you put a mean queen between your two strongest, the bees quiet right down. Yeah, this colony, I've got 4 deeps and a medium on it right now. And I just keep giving them room to do what they want to do. And,
I know you were looking for other places another place to start a new apiary. Did you find some?
I've had some people offer to put it up, but then with not knowing if I'm going to have to move, I don't really want to move everything out, right? So I'm still looking at some property up near my brother's in West Virginia. Don't know if I'm going to make that move or not. But
are you going to keep that house, or are you going to sell it and split?
No, if that happens, either my sisters would have to buy the house, and I would get my profit out of that, or we would have to sell it to somebody else, and we would all have to pull our resources out of it. But don't know. I mean, they haven't really said anything, which is unusual, and right now it could be month to month, right? They could just show up and say, it's time, and I would have to move. So I've been looking at a piece of property up in West Virginia that's 26, almost 27 acres. But it's West Virginia. It's like this, right? It's not flat land. It's like got plateaus, and this particular property has a cemetery on it, which says you have to maintain the cemetery. I'm like, who's paying me to maintain a cemetery on my own property? That would be the question. So
I'm sure there's a place next to Brad's that you could find.
Yeah, but there's so many rules about moving to Canada. I would move.
Yeah, moving to a different country is different. Is a whole different ball.
Well, West Virginia is a whole different country from South Carolina.
I don't know.
But it's got that property's got a lake on it or a pond, and it's got a bunch of stuff going for it from that. But it doesn't have a house, so that's another hurdle, right? So
pretty decent swamp out back here.
Yeah, I could just do like the swamp people and have a little like houseboat out in the swamp.
Put you up in my guest house here.
Is it really that complicated to move to Canada from the U.S.?
Well, it depends. There's different ways to do it, right? I could do it like some people probably just get across the border and you're there and then fend for yourself.
Just walk across.
I could do it the legal way and be like a seasonal worker. I could do another way and come there that requires you to have proof that you have $12,000 in the bank, and what else? A job offer, right? You have to have the paper saying you're going to work somewhere. So there's no free ride. I can't walk across the Rio Grande like you can here in the United States and come right in.
The only example I know of is my sister-in-law, and she married my brother, so.
Yeah,
I know she does. She doesn't have citizenship, but permanent residence, because she just doesn't want to
be an illegal alien in Canada. That would be fun.
The only trouble with that, Bob, you got to pay income tax both in Canada and the U.S. on your money you make up here, don't you?
I don't know. Probably.
I think.
Well, my son-in-law and my daughter live in Europe when working for the military, and they don't have to pay state or federal income tax here with the money that they're making overseas. So I don't know how that works out, but it would be a something to definitely look at, right?
My daughter, she had a friend that she was a U.S. citizen. She married up here, was working up here. Her mother was sick, dying with cancer, and she wanted to go back, but she had never paid income tax in the U.S. on the money she made here. She was afraid to go back through customs in case she got picked up.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess Canada would have to somehow report that to the United States, which I don't think they would. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know all the rules, but I know she had trouble going back anyway.
Well, we'll know if I get hired by the transfer program, right? I did submit a CV. No response yet, though.
Yes, you did.
We might know in about 10 days when they actually close the listing. So we'll see. Then we'll talk about studies, by God. But we'll see. I honestly doubt I'll get any response from it, but I have been surprised by other things before like that. So I have the qualifications, but sometimes they look at them and be like, yeah, maybe a little bit too much. So we'll see.
You would have to sell all your bees, though.
Yep. Then I would buy some nice Canadian bees to start all over
You
again.
betcha.
Well, you can bring your
Short pants
equipment, but
on.
not the bees.
And I bet you I know a few guys that if I help them out a little bit, they might gift me some splits to get started.
Yeah, who's that?
I don't know. I know some guys. I didn't say any specific guys.
I just wondered who that. I'm just asking.
I might come and graft a bunch of queens for somebody, and they might say, you know what? We'll just split off.
I'm not sure I know those guys, so I'm just asking. You know what I mean?
We used to hire a few contractors from the U.S. to come and work at the mine, but we had to prove that there was nobody here that could do the work.
Oh, he bought a new hat.
How are you doing, Todd?
He got
Hey
his
guys, how are you doing?
doing good. Have you been partaking this evening?
I might have had a couple of sips of mead earlier, but no, I'm all right.
Possibly all right.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Well, it's good you came and joined us.
I actually fell asleep for about an hour, so
That is better known as passing out in your
No, that's more like an old man nap.
That's what I say every time I drink too much too.
Hey,
I'm just
I didn't
taking
drink
an old
too
man
much.
nap.
I didn't drink too much.
Checking the old eyelids for holes.
Yeah.
You're not old enough, Tom, or you'd still be napping. Or Todd, I mean.
Thanks, Doug.
There's Mr. James McNally in the chat. James, the link is up.
McNally. Old McNally.
The link is
Oh.
up.
Bob, you're computer literate, and I certainly am not.
Me neither.
These guys showing all their snow. I took a little old 50-second short today. It'll be on the YouTube of what the fields are like around my operation. Can you find that and bring it up?
I will do my best, sir.
I don't know how to do it. Wouldn't have any
Your
idea.
YouTube is Soapstone Farm, right?
Yeah.
DC's asking what kind of plywood I use. I get that question a lot. So here's the story on the plywood.
It's just like 50 seconds long. I just want to show you the fields around me, what's going on.
I'm trying to Google it, and I see a bunch of soapstone sinks.
Is it that high dollar stuff? No, it's not high dollar stuff at all. It's
I
it's
just
good
posted
plywood,
it this
but
afternoon, so it's
it's not.
I'm sure I can find it.
Soapstone Farm honeybees.
That's
you
not
are.
true. That's not true, Brad. It's all high dollar stuff now.
It's all high dollar. Yeah, if it's plywood. But it's not. I think he means like MDO or HDO or something like that. That's not what I
I
use.
showed up. You just
That's it.
subscribed to me on my.
Did you call a sea of purple? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's real short.
Okay.
All right. Let me
If
Pause
you can
it so I
pop
can
it up,
pull
I
it up
don't
here.
know how to do that kind of stuff.
JW, I thought I was subscribed, but I am now.
I'll just type it instead.
What is that purple?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's dead nettle or henbit, they call it. And I've got thousands of acres of it. It's a little old. It's actually an invasive. They tell me that it's in this country.
Do the bees mark it?
Yeah, they work the
Oh, yeah.
heck out of it. Yeah. I've got
That's the first sign of spring because the ground temperature, that's when people know spring is coming. The ground temperature gets to a certain point that plant starts blooming. So that's the
well.
that's good.
I mean, we've got a pretty strong flow actually going on right now, but that stuff is just if the I call them sodbusters. If the row crop grain farmers haven't sprayed the ground, you know, they like to keep everything sterile. Every field that you go by that hadn't been sprayed, it's got that. It just
Normally,
carpet of purple.
we get that crimson clover, but I haven't seen any yet this year. The little red buds that are kind of like triangular on the top. I haven't seen any of those yet this year.
The honeybees can't work that red clover.
Hanley's
isn't long enough. They tell me, the experts.
Hanley's Homestead says, does that produce red pollen?
Yeah, it's a pink. It's a pink actually. It's a almost red. It's a bright pink. I've got a lot of that in my apiaries right now. You know, so.
You know, Morris Homestead, Bob Benny used. Whoops. There's the answer to DC's question. That's what Bob Benny uses, that HDO, but most places, I think he said he had a hard time finding it, or he had to order it by the skid or something.
I got to actually. You bring that up. I was at Bob's place last week, you know, looking for, and I bought some sheets off of him, but he gets it by the semi load, you know, and the only place that I know of that you can get that, it's Mid South Lumber, and it's Atlanta and Tampa, Florida, and they've got but it's all commercial. You got to buy, you know, like a truckload to even get it. But he let me have a few sheets of it, $110 a sheet. I mean, I think that's his cost on it. It's very expensive, but it's good stuff.
I bought, I think, 3 or 4 migratory covers and a couple double screen boards that he made out of that stuff, and I believe it was $120. Or I'm sorry, I believe it was $25 for each one of those when I bought them. So if you do the math on that, you probably, I don't know what you get, about maybe 6. So he didn't make much profit on that if you calculate in the labor and the paint and everything else they put on it. So it was a pretty good investment, I guess.
I've looked all over the country here locally and on the internet and so forth, and I've been able to. You can find an MDO, but it's not near. And I bought some of it. It's not near good of stuff as that stuff I got from Bob. I can tell you.
So, like, who was it? They were talking about that Advantech. Was it Barnyard Bees was big on the Advantech?
I've got some of that also.
And then
not nearly as waterproof as what the HDO is, but even that HDO, I dip it after I get it. When I use it, you know, I dip everything, wax dip. I'm talking.
But I believe that with the Advantech, people were saying that after a little bit of time, that it wasn't holding up like was advertised.
Yeah, it'll swell
on Barnyard
time. Advantech, you think about what Advantech is like. What's the point? Well, the point is, yeah. But what I'm saying is, usually when you're building a building, you'll sheet the roof and you'll sheet the floors and everything with you know, oriented strand board is what it's called, or chipboard or whatever, press board, and then it rains for a week, so the stuff ends up kind of rough and it's not very nice. So Advantech is meant to prevent that, but it's not an outdoor product. It's meant to be able to get wet once or twice and still be fine. And that's exactly what it does. It's not for an outdoor project. Don't use a Vantec. Don't use a oriented strand board or a particle board or chipboard product at all for beekeeping equipment. Is my professional opinion.
Yeah.
So Mike says, Brad, would boat/marine grade plywood work? They use it for pontoon decking.
Well, that's the nth degree. Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate outdoor plywood, right? So
I used to get 4x8 sheets of fiberglass. It come out of Minnesota someplace. That's been several years ago. I've often tried to reconnect with that outfit, but it was pretty expensive also. But a 4x8 sheet, you aware of that? Are you, Brad? Anyway.
no, I've never heard of that.
It was just like plywood sheets. It was 4x8. It was 3/4 inch fiberglass.
Oh, interesting. Sounds heavy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it'd make lifetime bottom boards, for somebody in a commercial operation, I think.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
been
guys, I gotta
25, 30 years ago. I've still got one sheet of it out there in one of my storage sheds that I keep thinking on a really special occasion I may use it for something, but so far I haven't
I gotta excuse myself.
used it. But I've got one sheet of it.
Oh no, Brad's gone.
Yeah, he said he had to get up for a second. And Todd, glad to see you're back from your passing out when you had the emoji up there.
No, I had a coughing fit.
But yeah, it's man, I'm ready. I think we're getting ready to really have the flow start up here. It looks like those Japanese privet trees are getting ready to pop. All my flowers seem to be popping. Dogwoods today, I noticed some flowers starting on those, so things are kicking in here. We just really had our first pollen storm, right, where we get the big yellow cloud that's on everything from the pine pollen. So I think it's really going to kick up here.
Do bees grab that pollen?
No, they don't really. They don't have to. All they have to do is stand on side of the hive, and they're going to get it on them. But no, the pine pollen I don't think is very beneficial to them. I mean, if that were the case, man, all my hives would be exploding.
Pollen bound.
Yeah, you could wash your truck in the morning or your vehicle, and 2 hours later, it's covered with yellow film again. It's just, I think might even have a photo on my phone. Let me see.
Well, I've seen videos of like pollen blooms of not pine, some other tree. A city did not want to put female trees, so they opted for the male ones, but they caused huge pollen blooms.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I rinse it down, and a couple hours later, it'll look just like that again, right? Just everywhere. You guys get that up there too, J-Dub?
Yeah, I hate pines. I hate pine trees.
Southern
property in Georgia that is,
in the southern states.
They raise it commercially, for the
Let's see.
wood products.
It's got
Flash pines. I hate the stuff.
yeah, I've got a pine tree. It's the weirdest thing. It grows up, right? But then I have one limb that is probably about as long going out to the side as the tree is tall. And I'm so worried that if I cut that branch and start trimming it down, that for some reason it's going to, the tree is just going to fall the other direction because it's like a counterbalance. It's crazy. It goes right over where my, that limb comes right over where my open feeder typically is. and I've just been waiting on that branch to just fall.
What
And
you
When
can
you
do
cut
is
those limbs off, Bob, be sure you're sitting on the inside of the saw, not the outside.
Right.
And pine trees will fall, limbs and all. I mean, limbs are they
Oh, yeah.
always they get
They're
big
not-
enough, they'll break.
They're not deep rooted.
Yeah.
what you could do is just start slicing like small section of it, and if you see it start leaning, then you stop.
That's a good answer, Alex. How to teach him.
He wasn't listening.
I'm multitasking. Sorry. It's my life, man. Just constantly multiple things happen all the time. What I really need to do is get my brother to let me use some of his land that he just bought. He just bought 86 acres up in West Virginia.
That sounds nice.
And it's like that, like all the rest of it, but it's got flat spots on it, right? And it might be good. So we'll I'll keep pushing him. Hey, you want me to move up there? Just give me it doesn't have to be just give me a little spot, right?
What's that? What's those hills and hollows in West Virginia? What's that sell for, Bob, by the acre? You know, or
Cheap, dirt cheap. So that 26, almost 27 acres is 48,000.
yeah.
So $1,800 an acre. And you get a free cemetery. So what do you want? they toss the cemetery in right with it.
Yeah.
And my brother bought 86 acres for 160,000.
That's still $2,000 an acre, basically. So for hills and hollows. So.
Yeah, it's definitely mountainous or hillish. Depends what side of the states. If you're out west, they'll say, "Oh, those are hills." Here, they're mountains, right? Yeah, might have some sourwood back there. They get a lot of that area is known for like black walnuts and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Just we'll see what happens.
Did I tell you did I tell you on one of the other chats about getting the sourwood seeds from Bob?
You did. You said you didn't know if they were gonna produce nectar because of the elevation, but
No, I'm sure they won't produce nectar, but I did get them planted. We'll see if they come up or not. You know, so.
I think they'll probably grow. Judging by all the other fields you were just showing us on there, the soil is right for growing. Here, no, nothing.
They don't want good soil. You know where they grow at. The soil's pretty. I'd say it has to be on the acidic side, but I don't know that.
Well, they might grow here well then, because we have pretty acidic soil. Not acidic enough to kill hive beetles, though. By God,
It might be good for blueberries, though. Blueberries love acidic soil.
I got some wild blueberries growing right behind the house over there.
Yeah, my neighbor's got about 50 acres of blueberries and about 20 acres of asparagus.
Ooh, asparagus.
Nearest my farm properties.
Yeah, so David, that's what my brother's doing as well. So he moved from West Virginia down to South Florida right after Hurricane Andrew. And he had a company, he's an equipment operator. So for a while he had his own company, but he 30 years he's been down there grinding to make money. And now he's like, I don't want to go back home now. And he can afford the cheaper land, and his piece of property is actually pretty nice from the aspect of this, that there's a road that runs through his property, a main road, right? So a few acres are on one side of the road, but the majority of the property is on the other side. But the city or the town there rents a part of it. So they're paying him like $700 or $800 a month to rent this piece of land. So he pays like $400 a month for his property payment. So that's pretty good for him. So,
Yeah, that's nice.
but he looked for quite a while to find something, and now he's up there clearing property and knocking trees down and leveling land to try to make a home site. I told him just to clear off some extra ones for some apiary sites, and we'll be in. Walker Brothers Honey Company. There you go. Let's see. You guys got any big plans for the weeks coming up?
Nope.
Yeah, building covers.
Brad, that surprises me.
Well, I gotta build that queen incubator. That's what I gotta do.
You gonna finish your queen incubator?
Yeah,
What is the box?
it's I can go get it if you want. Give me a second.
Sure. Russell says he's blowing snow.
Thank goodness we don't have much of that. Of course, we might pay for it with a lack of moisture.
Let's see, Brian says he lost 5 right in his backyard. Same thing. Just being lazy. I need to treat my bees better than that.
It's called a Trusco. It's from Japan. I basically ordered with a
That's
James.
the same thing. Yeah, that's the same one that I've got. That James got the model numbers and everything, but I bought mine already pre-built. So you're building. I thought you were, when you said you were building an incubator, I thought you meant like an incubator box, not a cell.
No. For transportation.
I got you.
So it's I got all the part, even the wheat to make the thermal mass. Just gotta put it together.
Last year I used just a chicken egg incubator to incubate my queen cells until they hatched, and then
Yeah,
took
but
them.
what I intend to do with this is breed at the magical tree.
The magic
because it's
tree.
been a good site. And once the cells are ready, just bring them to the strawberry field. So it's like it's 10-15 minutes away. I just want the cells to stay warm for that small amount of time.
Well, that should definitely do it. Shouldn't be a problem. Look, there's Ian. Hey, Ian. Brad's drinking Kraken without you.
Hey, boss.
Todd's already finished the whole Kraken bottle.
Yeah.
No, I had Kraken mead.
Kraken mead.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let me see. Trying to keep up here. So, JW, you got your splits done. You're giving them a week. And then you're going to go back and check them. Now, you introduce cells, or did you introduce mated queens? Did you find
Cells, and some of them's going to have to make. I'm concerned that I'm still short on drones to suit me. You know, I've got a few crawling around, but they're far and few between.
My problem
I've
is
got a lot of cap drone brood, so I'll have several drones and another, in a few more days.
mine. My drone colony is also my meanest colony, right? It's got the most drones in it, so I'm skeptical. I don't really want them getting to my other queens, but I do have queens coming, so I can always smush them if I need to, but may not be able to get to them to smush them if they stay as mean as that other colony.
Well, I'm sorry. I just absolutely will not tolerate, a mean hive. I'll burn them if nothing else. I'll put them on a bonfire. I hate them.
That's gonna happen. I'm just waiting on queens. As soon as the queens get here, it's a done deal.
I've got my nearest neighbor who's or nearest beekeeper to me that I'm aware of, and he's just a hobbyist as well. But he's got the meanest bees. They'll follow you for a quarter of a mile. You get in them, and he says, "Oh, he likes them that way. They make more honey." But I think that's all BS, frankly. So,
That's my those. the other day when I went in them, I literally had to sit outside for about 30 minutes waiting on bees to stop messing with me. I went inside the honey house for about 4 or 5 minutes and came back out. They were still there waiting on me to come back out. I mean, they were not happy. So that is definitely going to be one of those seek and destroy, well, on their behalf and my behalf when it comes down to it. Because when I start tearing them apart, they're going to not love me.
There can be only one.
Yep, there will be one survivor, and I hope it's me. I really do. I hope it's me.
Well, I started splitting hives yesterday about 10 o'clock. I'm in the Central Time Zone, and I had on basically the same thing I've got on here except the cap till 4 o'clock, and I did put on a veil. And
but it could just be
but
me.
when it came 5:30. I was trying to finish up. I mean, those foragers come home, and I got stung 11 times on the hands, trying to finish up there once those foragers come home. But I worked bees all day yesterday with nothing on. Till about 4 o'clock in the evening, I did slip on a veil. I didn't want my eyes closed. But
it could just be me too, because like if you watch South Carolina Happy Bees, that's my mentor, and he always talks about how nice and gentle his bees are, unless I'm there.
Yeah.
If I'm there, they find me regardless, whatever it is. Don't know if it's my soap or a shampoo or what.
It must be your charming personality.
It could be. It's just, I might have diabetes and I've got too much sugar in my blood. I have no idea, but they literally will tag me there. So, and he's like, I don't get it. He wears a mosquito net over a ball cap, and that's it. And Mark Miller coveralls, and that's about it. That's what Mark needs to do. He needs to have the Mark Miller signature line of coveralls. The signature series. He would sell a bunch of them. Yep, Sam says how gentle his bees are. And, I was there. I put my hand down in the colonies when I started and all that. Oh, yeah, they're very nice. And then you put those same bees in a double deep. Not as nice as they are in that little nuke with like 2-3 frames of bees in there, right? Much different bees. So maybe that's the goal. I just need to keep splitting them down and keeping them at 2-3 frames the whole season.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've actually got a pretty good flow. My bees are pretty calm right now, so I mean, they're not always as calm as they were yesterday, but like I said, bees are a lot happier around my place. It seems that they are. They've got plenty to eat. They're kind of like me. I'm quite a bit happier if I got plenty to eat also. So,
right. That's the thing with mine is that they just at this point they're just mad. There's not enough coming in for them or something. I don't know, but it'll get there. And it's not all of them. It's just a few of them. One in particular, but I avoid that one like the plague, which is probably why they're doing so good. Yeah, I do. I do kill insects for a living. Do we have AHB?
No.
Oh, yeah, we have small hive beetles, if that's what you're talking about. We got them here for sure. I just can't bring myself to kill bees. I try not to. I mean, I do it regularly. I just don't do it on purpose,
We all do.
It definitely happens. It's just not on purpose. So,
I got my first experience with a horizontal hive. I got one of Ricky Rourke's horizontals off of him, and I went to installed one of those packages in portions of it, and I found that to be a little bit different and challenging. I wasn't used to get them down in there and then not mash them when you drop your frames down in on top of them. They all go to the bottom, so. That was quite an experience for me. I've never messed with him prior to that, so see how that works out.
That's yeah. I often wanted to try that to try a horizontal hive, and then I get to thinking about my buddy who has horizontal hives. That's all he uses. And then every time he needs to move a colony or something, he's calling me to come lift up an end of a bee box to throw it on the back of a trailer because he can't lift it by himself. So that dissuades me most of the time. Use a smoker, Bob. Lift. You heard
Like Brad, only mine's green. My hive lifter's green. Brad's is orange. So am I going to move that them horizontals? I just use my green hive lifter.
John says his horizontal is a resource machine. Yeah, I mean, I want to try one, and again, it goes back to I've accumulated a lot of beekeeping stuff here, and if I have to move. I mean, I'll probably have to rent a truck just to move all my beekeeping stuff to come back and move all of my stuff, to be able to move into someplace.
Well, I guess I'd come and haul it for you, Bob, for half.
For half of it, tax me half of my beekeeping equipment. I'm not a big bee smoker, guys. David's asking about that. I don't fire my smoker up that much, and most of the time, the bees don't care that much. Only a few colonies that care, and I would almost put $1 on it that if I smoke that mean hive, it's not going to make a bit of difference to them. Not at all. Might prove me wrong, but it'd just be mad smoky bees. It might just be mad smoky bees. Don't know.
I brought an image of a bee streaking out with a trail of smoke going straight for your eyes.
Yeah, it's. I can't wait for you guys to see this if I do it. Just if you've never had, I mean, having
I've had
colony and having a very angry colony, little bit different, right?
First time I did a flyback split, I made the mistake of opening the hive. I took the comb, the brood from. A week later, can you say a tornado? It was like my veil was completely covered.
Oh yeah, where you can't even
cracked it open. The reaction was instant and extremely violent.
And I don't know, Bruce may have something to say about it too, because he's got some spicy bees. Bruce, have you found that smoke deters your spicy bees at all, or very little, or oh yeah, it's great? Because I've seen some videos where he's had some hot bees, and I don't know that the smoke makes a whole world of difference to him.
We always give a puff of smoke just to give them a warning. But we were putting on escapes last year. One hive, we lifted up 3 honey supers, put on 2, and then put the escape on. And those bees come out of there like I've never seen. Like you couldn't hardly breathe. And this yard has carriganas, and they're wild. And I don't know if you know what carriganas are like, but they're thick. Well, my son got in the truck and drove out to the road. I crawled through the carriganas to get rid of these things. So they followed me right through there. They followed me out to the road about 200 yards out from where the hives were. We got in the truck with our equipment on and the windows down, drove down the road till most of them blew out. Then we got out and shook stuff off. We were discussing when we come back to get the honey, we're going to go and that queen's going to die. We come back the next day and those bees were as calm as could be. Didn't bother us a bit. I have no idea what went on there or why. Never had anything like that before.
It just triggered them.
I'd say there'd be a good possibility, Doug, if them skunks that you've been trapping might have been.
No, we took one skunk out of there in the spring, and that was it for that one. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
And this was a guess on my part. Usually, there's some kind of a skunk or coon bothering them, that makes them a little more
Yeah, they can get a little upset now.
defensive.
But usually, like if you go under a branch or through some bush, you get rid of the bees. These things just come through the thickest bush you ever saw, Jason.
Let's see. C grade on one side and D grade on the other side. Well, guys, let me see. Sometimes external factors play a role. I have some that were feisty not long ago. This weekend, they are much more mellow. I've been doing stuff with them in the cold, wet. Yep. That seems to be what happens with mine too, is that that one colony doesn't seem to matter what it's like. It could be 70 degrees and sunny. It could have a nectar flow. It could be cold and rainy. They don't care. They just don't like me or anybody, really. They're not even biased. They hate my dog. They hate my wife. They're pretty bad. But they just don't like me. That's it. That one. But that's okay. They can not like me and still make me some honey.
It's just like people. Some people don't like others, and that's how it is.
That's it for sure.
Yeah. But I don't remember a video of you, Bob, using a smoker. So, there you go. I really don't. So, that's just me.
No, there's a short. I've got a short showing me lighting a smoker. I can do it.
Lighting it and using it are two different things.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Lighting it.
What's everybody thinking on using the sugar water? I know a few folks that's supposed to do that.
You got the lighting of the smoker down. I'm just not convinced you got the using of the smoker correct.
I think Ian said at one time that the smoker you use as like a lion tamer uses a whip. You wanna let them know. And that's what the smoker does.
Well, we will put it to a test. We will test this theory, the smoke theory. I will use excessive amounts of smoke on this colony to let them know I'm coming and see if that just pisses them off beyond belief, which is what I think it will do. That's
excessive amounts will. You just have to give them a little puff.
All right. So I'll hit them with a little puff, and if that don't work, use a little bit more, and if that doesn't work, light the whole goddamn thing on fire.
Open the lid and pour your.
If that doesn't work, switch to pine needle, and then see what happens. That doesn't work, switch to cedar.
It's how many stings do you take while you're doing your research?
The smoker would maintain, and even if you do get stung, you won't care.
Light my smoker with kerosene.
Or you could buy those flamethrowers from Elon Musk.
Hey, I'm up for anything. Maybe I'll just hit them with oxalic acid and smoke the whole thing out first, and then go in them. Maybe that'll just flush them all out the front.
Well, you bring up a good point, because think about it. If they're being pestered by pests, they're not going to be in a happy mood no matter what you do. So, in some parts of the year that is true.
We'll see. I mean, this colony is going to get split down. It just depends on when Jose's time frame is to get me the queens, right? So when they come, he's supposed to. Good night, Bruce. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. But we're going to split that thing down ahead of time and make sure they're ready for some queens when they come in, and let them roll and see what happens.
We got a plant up here we can legally use, Bob, and it'll mellow them right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they'll eat all their stores when they get the munchies.
Put some hemp in your smoker and, smoke them down a little bit. maybe that helps. I don't know.
We'll give it a shot. I'll do it on video. I don't know if I should do it live with my tripod so you can see the whole thing. But they are not happy bees. We'll just say that. You think I got a mouse in there? I don't know. I mean, they've got a licensed poly first box, and I haven't seen any holes or anything in it.
Doesn't sound like a mouse would be alive.
No.
They'd have propolized it to a wall.
They're that mean. They'll take care of that mouse.
I've never seen bees that would sting through a full bee suit and gloves on the outside of the bee suit and still get all the way through it. But mine
is that your brand bee suit, Bob, that you're talking about, or is that
that bee suit? That is one that I was looking at, and the guy still pesters the crap out of me. But there's a different one that is much better that I'm looking into. Yeah, my Big Red is still kicking it too there, Bruce. The one, and it's doing fine. I was surprised because I mismarked the queen with I thought, I had a set of paint pens sent back to me, and they looked like somebody rolled over them with a truck because they were smashed. And I didn't want to throw them out. I was like, well, it's just a paint pen. I should be able to use that. But I dabbed the tip, and it just like all over the queen. And but they didn't kill her. She's still laying away and going. So keep her going. But at any rate, I will do that for you guys. I will take stings for the team to prove a hypothesis on smokers. And it's a date ant smoker, so you should be proud, Todd.
Well, I can't wait to see that one.
So I'll do that and let you guys live vicariously through my bee stings. Ooh, that must have hurt, Bob. Glad that's not my yard. Thanks for that.
If you want to mellow them out, I could send you some California weed. Weed.
Brad just went into infinite loop over there.
It's legal in Illinois now. We can stuff them right away.
It's legal here too. I mean, you walk out, you step outside almost anywhere, and you can smell skunk. It's
here it's illegal still, but you'll be riding down the road and you will smell it like it's in your car.
Yeah.
You guys won't be able to type because you'll be laughing so hard trying to type on there. It'll be funny.
There goes Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Live stream for tomorrow, Bob. You can get out there and do that.
Yeah, if the weather's nice, it's going to be cool, but it's not going to. It's 60 something degrees, so it should be fine. So we'll check it out. So, guys, we've been going for 2 hours and 6.5 minutes. We still got 80 people watching, but it is 10:38 at night here. So I'm thinking we will cut this live stream and do what we do as VIPs for hanging out and talk bees even more. There you go. So, guys, we appreciate all of you for hanging out with us tonight. And if you see somebody on here that you're not subscribed to, go do it. It's easy. And make sure you smash the thumbs up button. We appreciate that. So, everyone, have a good night, and we'll see you on the next stream. Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, all.